Hi guys, thanks for tuning into this video. I'm gonna just kind of do this as quick as possible, to the point simply. I wanted to put a little bit more time into this as opposed to doing this with a short. Thanks for tuning in. This is my YouTube channel, Robert DeMario. Please subscribe and like this video if you get something out of it. This is going to be political based, and I feel like it's important because this is a part of my personality, part of who I am. And while it's not the entirety of who I am, it is a part, and I think it's important to have a side, choose a side, so people get the opportunity to see who you are and see, okay, well, this person either, oh, he's on the same side of me. Oh, this person is not on the same side of me. People are entitled to feel any way they want to, react any way they want to. So, yeah, I'm conservative. I just like to go into a little bit more of the background with me. I wasn't always conservative. I kind of was raised in a conservative type family. I had a very traditional nuclear family type structure growing up. Roman Catholic, Italian family, mother, father, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, very big Italian family where everybody was like an integral part of it. We were raised Roman Catholic, so we went to church, traditional things. So, I grew up, went to college, started to form my own opinion, and then I strayed away and decided not to be part of the Catholic Church anymore. As college, I hung around. I don't think I hung around like really blatantly liberal people, but I think a college experience is more liberal than, in my experience, than high school. So I didn't really care about politics, but I kind of like went and shifted from like conservative background, went out on my own, and then from like 22 up until like 45, I will say 45, 44, excuse me, I was left-leaning, and voted Democrat. So that was a majority of my thing, and then I was atheist for the time. So I was very left-leaning for majority of my young adult, the majority of my adult life in my 40s. It's just like, I think the media influenced how you wanted liberals to be represented. It's like liberals were like, standing up for the little guy, trying to help like minorities. And, it was just more, liberals were more concerned about helping people, etc., etc., etc. And, conservatives were just like more closed-minded, religious things. And I'm just like, just a very negative stereotype against conservatives. And then if they were religious, and then going to college and learning about all different things and then atheism and that, it's just like believing in God. There was like a stereotype that I learned that if you believed in God, you were stupid because you were believing in something with no proof of existence. So it was really like discounting faith. I was liberal, left-leaning, and it just, the liberals were trying to combat the unfairness of our country and the unfairness of the world. This idea, which, inspired me, like, for wrong and right and wrong, like helping people that are less fortunate. So I voted Democrat proudly. And then as time went on, as I got older, I started to see things differently. And this is just my experience, so I can only speak for that. It's just like, liberals were supposed to help people, but the world was still our country was still an unfair place for people. And then it's just like, I got to the point where like, well, what the fuck are liberals doing to help people? it's like the country is more unfair. It's like more unfair to all these fucking people, and liberals are trying to help. So what exactly are you doing to help people? And then, I just it came, so I was getting like frustrated because I'm like, nobody's making a difference. Is anybody really helping anybody with anything? It's like, what kind of solutions are these people coming up with? And it sounded nice on TV. You'd hear it from the president who was Democrat. It sounded like a wonderful, wonderful thing. But then like it's like, yeah, the solutions and things, it didn't seem to help. Like, it's like just basically who is helping. And then like for me, in my experience, it's like interacting with other people who are left leaning or liberal, especially with like liberal women. I really, as time went on, it's like I really didn't like them. Being totally honest, it's like, it's just like this is just my experience. So there's a combination of things, but it's just like these women that think that they are God's gift to men, because all they would do is get out of abusive relationships, and then they demand that they deserved a certain type of man, and then it's like, for me with like that, I think that's all well and good, but then it's like when you just have like, I'm not a big person with entitlement, like, so like I think it's like I find like people who are more humble, more attractive than these people who they demand whatever, so I just noticed that like with this pattern with like liberal women and stuff, and then liberal men, I could never like get out. Like, it's just like I'm not like these people. I'm not like these men, and I'm not like these women, and these leaders. It's just like I think it's just like wonderful speech on TV, but then when you talk about the state of the country, it's not translating into like anything. So I saw like, and then it's just like just hanging around that population and stuff. It's just I just found like it's these people, this population, that I interacted with, the liberals, all they do is focus on the unfairness of life. This population has it unfair. This population has it unfair. And it's just like, it's like all these people, collectively, they're focused on the unfairness of the circumstances, but they ain't coming up with anything to change it. And the things that they're coming up to change it, like in my experience of listening more and more to the leaders, it's like you're just like fucking telling people what they want to hear. We're going to do this, and this. Yeah. And then it never translates. So it's like I kind of became disillusioned with left and leaning. And then like I came back to my faith in God. And once I started to do that, that's when I really separated from like left leaning Democrat type stuff. Because I'm like, you people now, you look at me like I'm some type of idiot because I have faith in God or I believe in something greater than myself, and it's just like, and then the people who like the people who, on the left that were like Catholic or Christian, I wasn't on the same page with either. I'd listen to these people and it's like, you're just changing everything in like the Bible because of how a person feels. A person feels bad about being called like a sinner. So like, and then this is honest to God thinking, I'm like, so if I go to a murderer, you're a horrible person for killing somebody, and then the murderer feels bad about it. Oh, okay, though then you know what? It's okay to kill. It's okay to kill. And I know that that's an extreme example, but it's like, for me, I look at things different. As I got in touch with more of my faith, we all, I think it's important to find fault in yourself, to look at yourself as not as a perfect person, That doesn't mean that you go into a place of like just destroying yourself, but understanding that I do wrong, or I'm false, I make mistakes, and in terms of like Catholic religion, I have sins. But that doesn't mean that like I need to go and yell at myself, "You're going to hell," or I need to just like hurt myself for that, because I don't think that's the right way, and I think that's absolutely that's been how like people in the past have like dealt with people who with their sins like from religious places. But it's like I'm looking at these people more and more, and it's like they just want to be told that they're perfect human beings, and they can't handle if they have like just like they can't handle if they're like I don't know what a better word, like that they have sins. How dare you say I have sins, you evil person. You have no right to tell me that I have sins. You're a human being, though. We all have sins. So like, what are you, like a better type of human being? Like, it's just like, so like this, and then like as time went on, like as I got in my 40s, it's like, I feel like I grew up, and the population that I was interacting through social media, and just what I would see from like left-leaning people, liberals on social media, just, they're insanely offended. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of you people. You people, I don't want, like, you people are just, like, I may get my feelings hurt, but I don't need to go and rip a person's head off or demand that they do this. And it's just like these... just the way that this population, especially, and like for me too, honestly, like a majority of like left-leaning women, after my experience with it, and then like when I read from like liberal left-leaning women on social media, it's like I had my fill, and like it's like honestly, I'm like I can't, and this doesn't include like everybody, but just like I would read enough shit like from like these liberal left-leaning women, and I'm like, oh, I can't stomach you people. I am not going to be on the same side as you. And there is no way on God's green earth that I would ever date somebody like you. It's like there's and this doesn't include all like liberal women, but like, a big portion of liberal women, when I read things on social media or I see like these shorts on TikTok, these people that I don't know from Adam, they very well may be like nice, sweet people, but with the way these left-leaning liberal women portray themselves on TikTok, it's like people make me fucking sick to my stomach. I can't tolerate like listening to you. It's like, and I absolutely would never. It's like, it just like after like enough interactions with reading things from liberal women, left-leaning women, even though I didn't know them, but even some I did, but just on social media, it's like, I'm fucking conservative, man. I am not on the same page as these people. I don't want to be on the same team as these people. It's just, so I think it's ultimately the ideology. It's like in the beginning, when like I took on like interacting and learning about like liberal ideology, it sounded fucking amazing to me, and I was all on board. But as I got more experience with it, liberals look to help people, okay? And I think that's a wonderful intention. But here's the thing about helping people. This is what I know from my experience and what I know from other people. You could have all the intentions to help people that you want. Help can be corrupted. And I'll give you a specific example of that first. So let's talk about somebody going through addiction. Like somebody who gets into massive debt because of their drug addiction. So, liberal person, left-leaning person. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the money to pay off the debt. Okay, so you're helping the person. You're giving them the money to pay the debt. That's great. That's awesome. Good for you. The problem is the person's an addict. Okay, so just because you pay off the debt doesn't change the fact that they're addicted or they may have a problem with that. So you're struggling with addiction. You're out of control with addiction. You're going to get back in debt again. So how have you helped the person? And this is why I'm done with like liberal ideology and these intentions to help people, especially like liberal solutions, left-leaning democratic solutions for mental health, gun violence. No, I am not on the same page with like you people are just, and I'll say like the democratic leaders, your solutions for mental health absolutely suck. Because helping people can be corrupted. That's not really helping. People got to help themselves. And with liberal ideology, democratic leaders, the onus is never put on the person to help themselves. And then the person feels entitled because of this ideology, as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'm going to get help, so I don't have to do shit to improve myself. They're going to help me. The world's going to help me. I mean, I don't have to take responsibility for helping myself, improving my life. I don't have to do any of that because, I need help. So I'm going to need help. I'm going to get help, and then I'm entitled to help. So, no. Like, fuck that. That's not helping people. You cannot make a person help themselves. So, as far as I'm concerned, left-leaning solutions for mental health to help people is enabling. And if you think enabling is helping people, no, you're creating a monster that's think that they're entitled to shit that they're not entitled to. So fuck liberal ideology, fuck your solutions for helping people. I would never be on board with anything and in terms of like gun violence, like the left-leaning Democrat solutions for gun violence is to restrict gun laws. So let's take that to another place. Drug addiction, drugs. Drugs are illegal in our country. Guns, let's keep it to drugs. Drugs are illegal. Does the law making drugs illegal stop people who are addicted from going to take drugs? It's a bullshit solution. These solutions are not genuinely helping people, and then taking guns away from the population or making it more strict, when you're not taking into consideration that people in a place of extreme hatred, violence, dark place, broken people, that they just have no value for life and they're just going to kill people, that's not taken into consideration. Taking the gun away. So, all right, so somebody, as far as I'm concerned, somebody wants to kill you, their passion, and they're just in a dark place where they're just going to, like, they want to end somebody's life. They're homicidal. They're going to find a way to kill a person. They'll find a way through the black market to get a gun. They don't need to, or there's people who are evil and they're wonderful actors. They know exactly what to goddamn say on these applications and shit. They make it like a perfect person. This is things that are not taken into consideration either, as far as I'm concerned. So, like the liberal ideology, their solutions to help people in our country, right there. Fuck you and fuck your solutions. I'm like fed up with it. It's just, no. Like, I'm conservative, and this is what I'll say about conservative ideology, which I've seen more since I became conservative. Conservatives are more about empowering people. So let me explain what empowering is. So, person's addicted. Okay? You have a person's addicted. Liberals looking to help that person with addiction. Conservatives looking to empower that person. If you empower a person who's struggling with an addiction, they're going to empowering a person puts them in a position to overcome their addiction. They empower themselves and then they overcome. When you overcome and when you're empowering people, they are inspired to overcome the difficulties in their life. So, I value empowerment more than I do help. Because with empowerment, people don't need to take advantage of it. Empowering somebody, it is a good thing. When you're empowered, like when your life is not in a great place, but you become empowered, you improve your life. Personal responsibility. These are all things with the conservative ideology that, in my experience has made it, it's like I would rather be empowered than get help from somebody. Empower me 10 out of 10 times because it's like empowerment is kind of like with advocacy, it's self-advocacy. Like you can ask somebody for help, but then if you advocate for yourself, you're helping yourself. So self-advocacy is better than asking people for help. So it's just like, I think in my opinion, it's like the liberal ideology and the Democratic leaders, they're looking to enable people. They ain't looking to empower them. And like, I could go into like a darker perspective with that, that it's probably intentional. But I don't really care to go that direction. All I'll say is like, I don't care about getting help. I care about being empowered. Empowered is much better, and that's why I'm conservative. So, I think the conservative ideology is far superior to liberal ideology and left-leaning thing. It's just like, at this point, I'm not like that ideology and their solutions and then what they consider doing to help people doesn't really help people, and I would never vote Democrat because I believe it's just an absolute farce. I think it's just Democrats speak wonderfully, they say all the right things, but when it comes down to genuinely helping people, with their solutions to help people, don't really help people. I think they enable them and then they just keep them, emotionally crippled, just in the same place. But, you're in the same place, but you have people saying, we're going to help you, we're going to do this. So if you believe people's bullshit, words don't mean shit, as far as I'm concerned. And it's just a lot of wonderful words and wonderful messages. So, conservatives, and I'm conservative, but again, I find fault with a bunch of like, the right and the Republican leaders on the right too. I don't want to sound like I'm like an automatic vote for Republican. I just know that I'd never vote Democrat. Just with the ideology and their what they're looking to do to help people, I would never vote for that. I definitely would vote. In some circumstances for a Republican leader, but just for somebody who's conservative, I think the conservative ideology, as I said, empowering people is much better, a much better solution than, helping people, and from my experience, again, I'll speak for only myself, I'd rather be empowered than get help, because empowering, like when you are empowered, you help yourself. I'm not looking to get help from anybody else. I'm looking to help myself. And people on the left and the Democrats, they ain't looking to help themselves. They're looking, it's too much like there's not enough personal responsibility for the population that vote Democrat, which I'm not on board with. It's like, I think there's a huge portion of people who vote Democrat just don't want to take responsibility for their lives whatsoever. They want to blame somebody else, and it's, not personal responsibility. And that's like, they talk about inclusion or inclusiveness. No, I'm not on the same page, man. I'm about personal responsibility, empowerment, and I'm not going to get that from the Democrat or left. That is you may hear that, like you may hear the words empowerment and this and that, but those words are just absolutely falling on deaf ears. Like I wouldn't trust any Democrat leader saying that in any way about it, and I absolutely would not. So I've never vote in Democrat again as long as I live. Republican, in some circumstances, I definitely would, but there's faults on both sides. I'm not saying that there's no faults on the right. There's hatred on both sides. So I try to stay away from the hateful, the extreme hatred part of the right. And what that's involved, and then just there's hatred on the left Democrat too, which I just not a big person about hate. So that's it. This is this video. It went longer than I wanted to. That's my spiel. You don't have to, feel free to respond any way you want to. I'll leave the comments open. So if you are somebody on the left, Democrat, and you want to respond to this with your own retort, by all means. It's free speech, so, be disrespectful, be hateful, whatever. That's what happens sometimes when you're passionate. You can be hateful. I try to stay away from hate or being disrespectful, but I'm only one person. Everybody, it's free speech. If you had a bad day and you're listening to this, blast me. All right, guys, bye.